All right, y'all, move over to the NBA, guys. This is our first episode. We're really talking about the NBA. Somebody's excited because they love the NBA so much. All right, but big news of the week has been Giannis, guys. Giannis is going to be on the move before the deadline ends, I believe. All right, it's been reported that Giannis wants out, and it's been reported that the Milwaukee Bucks are listening to offers. All right, so Rell, where do you think Giannis will end up?
Yes, sir. I think and know Giannis will end up in New York. Um, I know because when it comes to trading superstar players in the NBA, it has to make sense. Everything has to make sense. And when you look at all the teams in the NBA, the only team that actually makes sense, contract wise, player wise, and both teams getting better wise, is the New York Knicks. They have Karl Anthony Towns you could pair up in a package. A lot of young players like McBride, Josh Hart, um, a lot of first round picks. First round picks hold value because of the Paul George trade a couple years ago. If you say, "Hey, I will give you my five unprotected first round picks for the next 7 years," teams are gonna say, "Hey, okay, yeah, let's do that," because there's no telling how good this team is gonna be in 7 years. We'll take a chance on that.
Yeah.
So, I think the only team that makes sense is the New York Knicks, and I think that's something that will get done simply because the Knicks proved they couldn't get it done last year. I don't think this team can win in big moments, and if they could, I seriously, honestly think they would have beat the Pacers. And they lost to them in 6 games, 5 games. They beat them relatively quick, right?
With the
The Knicks
I
versus
want to say
Pacers.
it was maybe five. If not, honestly, it might have been a sweep.
I don't know about this sweep, but I
I
want to
don't
say
I
five or
don't
six.
recall the Knicks winning, so it might have been five. But
Yeah, facts. So I don't think the Knicks would have won in five. So I think they have to change that team around, and I think Jalen Brunson and Giannis could be disgusting. So I think the Knicks is where Giannis will end up landing.
all right, he got New York. Jared, who you got?
I'm gonna go with Minnesota. I think that this is a from the Bucks standpoint, you want to send Giannis somewhere. He's done his due diligence to the city. He's done his due diligence to the organization. He brought y'all the championship. You want to do him like the honor of going somewhere where he can compete. And I think that Minnesota is a team that can compete. When you look at Minnesota, they are sixth in the West right now, and we know that that can change because of how good the West is. Like they're sixth, but they are only so many games behind whoever's in front of them. When you look at Minnesota, they have guys like I can see them giving up Julius Randle and Nas Reed. Give up Julius Randle and Nas Reed and some picks, and I think that that could get the job done. Or honestly, this could be more of a, like Rel said, because of how much picks hold weight now. This could be a situation where the Bucks have drafted terribly, and that's also because they haven't really had a good like early draft pick, which is normally where you get your franchise changing guys. So honestly, draft picks could be the way to go, and they wouldn't have to give up Julius and a Nas Reed. But I would give up Julius and Nas Reed, honestly. If Anthony Edwards can get healthy, this also helps out Rudy Gobert on defense. You're already fourth in defensive rating. So if you can improve your defense by adding a Giannis, I think that would be great because Giannis, he's also a rim protector. He's a better rim protector than a Julius Randle, than a Nas Reed. And to pair that with Rudy Gobert, who, although we don't like the guy, the man has some defensive player of the years, somehow. But he still holds some weight down there in the paint. So that would definitely help out. And now, like, you would look at Julius Randle's a guy, he averages 22, 6, and 5. Like that's really, really good for your second option. Now you would look at a situation where if Anthony Edwards is still your first option, a guy averaging 29, 5, and 3, your second option is a guy in Giannis who averages 28, 10, and 5. That's a big step up from a Julius Randle, even if you do have to also give up a Nas Reed type player who is very important to the team. Like, and now on top of that, you have a guy who in clutch situations, it doesn't always have to be Anthony Edwards. It's on you. Because last year we saw in the playoffs, in any type of clutch crunch time coming down to the end of the game, last 2 minutes, Julius Randle is nowhere to be found. Julius Randle is not a guy that's going to help you out in the key moments of the game when you need it. Like we said, he's not a superstar. At best, he's maybe an all-star. So if you can get a Giannis, a really, really good threat, like I said, you wouldn't be able to tell me who their second option is on this team. They're going to be alternate nights about who gets 30 points. So I honestly think that if you pair up Giannis and Anthony Edwards, keep a lot of that team together, this team can be scary in the West, honestly.
Okay, so we got the Knicks, we got the Timberwolves. I have an answer that I want to say, but to me, there's no possible trade package that makes sense, and that's the Warriors, right? To me, the Warriors need to make a move now to try and maximize what Steph has left. This will be the perfect move, but they don't have like what would the Warriors be trading to get Giannis? Do y'all think? Like, there's literally nothing.
I don't
Yeah.
I don't know.
Go ahead, Jerry. Go ahead.
I would say maybe Kuminga. Kuminga wants to be on the move. You would probably have to give up pods. You'd have to give up picks. Like you probably might have had to move off of Jimmy Butler before he got hurt, but now that Jimmy Butler's hurt, they don't want a 36-year-old who just tore his ACL. So the only possible reason could be Kuminga, pods, Moody. I know they have a really good rookie who comes in sometimes and plays really well. He doesn't get a lot of minutes. But when he does play, he does get a lot of minutes. So that could be something for Milwaukee once to start their rebuild. But other than that, it had to be a lot of picks because, like you said, this roster is not deep at all. So,
Rell, my bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say this. The literal same exact thing Jerry said, and that package is nowhere near good enough compared to the other offers other teams would be sending.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think if you matched up all the offers, they would have the worst offer out of all the teams, in my opinion. But with that being said, I'm gonna go down to Jerrick's squad. I'm gonna go to H-Town. And I think Houston should pull this off. To me, Houston let us know last year, this past offseason, they let us know that, look, we want to know. Y'all made a trade last year, correct? No, this offseason.
it's offseason.
Yeah, it's offseason. I'm tripping. It's offseason. This offseason, y'all made a move and y'all said, look, we want to win now. Forget y'all was building, y'all had the young players, y'all was getting better every single year. Y'all said, you know what, forget that. We going all in. Right? Me and Rell had this conversation with you last season of the podcast, and we said y'all are in win now mode. Y'all are in championship or bust mode whenever you bring KD in. So why not just double down and get Giannis? Giannis and KD, to me, it makes your team better. Off rip, you're adding to some people top 5. I say top 10 player in Giannis, right? To a team with Kevin Durant, and then you have some more good pieces around him. Like, you're gonna definitely keep Amin Thompson for sure. Right now, with Steven Adams being hurt, Jerry brought this up yesterday. With Steven Adams being out for the season, that kind of hurts you a little bit. And in this trade, I would see y'all giving up Sengun for sure. Sengun, a bunch of picks. This mock trade right here saying Sengun, Fred VanVleet, Tyree Eason, and then a bunch of picks. Right? Like, if y'all made that trade to me for Giannis, I'm not mad at it.
I can't give up Fred. I can't. We're actually
Fred's supposed to come back this season.
We're banking on Fred being back this year. That's why we haven't really made a trade for like in the beginning of the year. I told y'all we applied for we applied for this tax that gives you money so that we could go out and get a point guard. But Fred is ahead of schedule, so I think we're banking on him being back. So I couldn't see us giving up Fred, but Sengun and Tari, Sengun and Jabari Smith.
Jabari, yeah.
Sengun and Jabari Smith, but I have to get, like I said, because of Steve, like I told you yesterday, because of Steven Adams, you have to give me back Miles Turner. Because Steven Adams is hurt, you have to give me back Miles Turner. I can't go throughout the rest of the season with Clint Capella being my starting center. I just can't do it. Now, unless we make another trade and get another big, but that's still losing. That would be losing another roster piece that you probably need. So if you can take Sengun, Jabari Smith, and some picks and give me Giannis, Miles Turner, I pull the trigger.
So to me, I agree, right? But let's just say you couldn't get Miles Turner. If you can't get Miles Turner, it hurts you because now your potential starting lineup, right? You're gonna have 2 players for sure, or 3 players for sure that can't shoot. Like, so that's gonna hurt your offense when if you're looking at Capella, Giannis, and Amin Thompson. They can't shoot. So that's gonna kind of hurt the offensive production, but defensively, my lord, I think y'all will be very tough to get scored on, but it's gonna be hard for y'all to score. But I just think putting Giannis and KD together, look, y'all said y'all want to win now. Why not just put all the cards in the middle of the table and see what happens? Do I think this will lead to y'all get a championship? I don't. But to me, y'all have not looked as impressive as I think you believe. If that makes sense.
We'll talk about it. Don't worry about it.
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it. Don't worry about it.
This could be a move. This could be a move that could elevate y'all from where y'all are right now, to me. All right. But speaking of talking about the Rockets, all right, moving on to the next topic. All right. The Houston Rockets. All right. It's a team that once again traded for KD and now they are in the picture. Right. It is get to the championship this year. All right. That is the hopefully the mood that these fans are in. But real, let me know. Are the Rockets legit contenders this year?
Nah. Heck nah. Uh nah. They won't even. Nah. I think that KD move, like I said it when they made the move, I told Jerry to his face, I said, that move was to get y'all one round further than what y'all were last year, which was the first round. The West is just getting better and better and better. I'm just gonna name a couple of teams that the Rockets cannot beat in the playoffs. The Thunder, the Spurs, the Nuggets, the Timberwolves. Yes, those are a whole bunch of teams. And Jared, you're making that face.
Minnesota?
Face like
Minnesota.
Minnesota was in the playoff. They were in the conference championship the past 2 years, Jared.
Okay.
Stop it.
Okay.
Yeah. Just leave it at stop it. Just leave it at okay, please. But yes, bro, those are just 5 teams I named. So like, there's only 4 teams that make it to the second round. But I just want to get into the most important part of what I'm saying. The Rockets were the second seed last year. Really young teams. They best say they were building from the bottom. Young, trying to build within, like the Thunder did last year, win a championship from within. The Rockets, they wanted to put all the chips in and say, hey, let's go get KD. Let me tell you something about KD. KD makes every single team he joins worse. The Rockets are the 4th seed right now, 2 games out of the play-in. Last year, they were the 2nd seed. If you look at the Suns, last year, they were out of the play-in.
They did not make the play-in. They
didn't even make the play-in. You look at this year, they're in the 7th seed. Dylan Brooks is just balling. Absolutely balling. And the scariest thing about the Suns is Jalen Green hasn't played all year. So you get KD off the team, you get the virus off the team, the Suns just automatically go up. Let me take you back to a couple years ago. KD has not been in the conference finals since 2019 when he was on the Super Team Warriors. When he had that year, he had 5 All-Stars on his team. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, KD, DeMarcus Cousins, and Draymond Green. 5 All-Stars. That's what he had to take to go to the conference finals. He has not been there since. The teams he's been on since, though, the Nets with the super team, the Suns with the super team, the Rockets with what should have been a super team.
The Suns were a super team. What made the Suns a super team?
They had Devin Booker and Bradley Beal.
Bradley Beal was a bum.
But before they joined together, Bradley Beal was a superstar in Washington, multiple All-Pros, multiple accolades. Devin Booker went to the finals. Devin Booker was one of the best shooting guards he was the best shooting guard in the league before KD got there. Like, he had that rep. KD made him worse. Devin Booker was all the way up here. Do you understand that?
KD made him worse, right? Look at Devin Booker's numbers every single year. They did not change. They did not change at all. Devin Booker and Kevin Durant both averaged 26 points a game. How is that making him worse?
I gotta tell you. Before KD got there, why were the Suns in the finals? Conference finals.
Because they had a squad. They had a big man, they had a point guard, and they had Devin Booker, and they had role players. Facts. Role players. Didn't they have Mikal Bridges?
I'm gonna just bring you somewhere right quick. So you see how you said they had a squad, right?
Yeah.
The Suns had a squad. Facts. The Rockets had a squad too. But look, they said, hey, let's trade all this. We need to win now. I think we were one piece away from winning now. Let's go trade for KD. The Suns said, hey, let's go trade all this. Let's go trade all this to Brooklyn. Let's go get KD. And automatically went down. KD comes to Houston, automatically went down. Hey, and as time will tell, you guys are just going to get gradually worse. And I'm telling you. And early in the season, like, Kevin Durant was just having fits. Like, it was just so many games. I wasn't even watching Rockets games, but every time I turned on the game, I'm watching Kevin Durant have a fit.
It was him and Sengun too, right? Him and Sengun.
Yes,
he was.
And
it was for a reason.
There's not even 42 games into the season, Jerry. Not even 42 games.
That's fine.
No, the Rockets are not contenders. No, heck no.
All right, real 10 toes down. No, they are not contenders. Jerrick, let me know. Are your Rockets legit contenders?
Yes, the Rockets are legit contenders. And if you look at the West right now, the Rockets are, in my opinion, when it comes down to the playoffs and when it comes down to those moments, they're the 3rd best team in the West. Okay, the only team I'm taking over them is the Thunder and the Nuggets. The Spurs are not ready in the playoffs. They're not. They're just not. Like, you're going to the playoffs, your 2 stars is Vic, who hasn't been there yet, and De'Aaron Fox, who we see what he does in the playoffs. We see what he's done in big moments with the Kings. He's not ready yet. They have a young team. They are what we were last year, and that is okay. Now, they're better because they have a Vic and a De'Aaron Fox. Our best player last year was Jalen Green, but it's okay. But this is where I want to get to.
Hey, Jerry, you keep on saying, but it's okay. But it's okay.
This is what I want to get to. This is what I want to get to.
Okay.
Kevin, so we talked about, and y'all brought up the point how this puts us in a win now situation, right? This puts us in a situation where we need to win now. So, because Kevin Durant's 37, right? Kevin Durant's 37. He'll be 37 at the end of this year. He'll go into next year. He'll be 38 next year. He hasn't slowed down at all. Kevin Durant plays a style of basketball. I can't tell you when he's going to retire. I think he's going to retire after he gets his next ring, whenever it is. Like, he's not close to being done playing basketball. This is a guy, he averaged 26 points last year. He averages 26 points this year. Like, he's not falling off at all. He's actually more efficient this year. Well, he was more efficient last year, but he's still up there in efficiency the same year. But this is what I want to get to. So you talk about how good we were last year, right? So at this exact point, because, mind y'all, the Rockets did play tonight, the night that we were shooting this episode. At this exact point last year, the Rockets were 32-14. This year, the Rockets are 29-17. Not that big of a difference, is it, guys?
Not that big. Not that big of a difference.
Not that big of a difference, is it? That's just 3-game difference.
Yeah.
Last year, you had a Rockets team where their best player was Jalen Green, averaging 21, 4, and 3 on 42% from the field and 35% from 3. And he's also a guy in the playoffs against Golden State who disappeared. He was nowhere to be found. We had to send out not an Amber Alert because that's for children. What do you call it whenever a grown man goes missing? We had to send one of them out. He was gone. We don't know where he was. Our best player in that series was Fred VanVleet. That's a doggone shame. Okay. Last year, Sengun averaged 19, 10, and 5. Last year, Amen Thompson averaged 14, 8, and 4. Okay. Those are the guys. This year, Sengun averages 29, 9, and 6. About the same. 2 points better. About the same. Amen Thompson averages 18, 7, and 5. Okay? So it's about the same. But you want to know the difference between this year and last year? The difference is we had a point guard. The difference is we had Fred VanVleet, who a lot of people, like I was saying that a lot of people was just overhyping him, but no, because he's a point guard. He can control the ball. He can, and the reason why the Rockets were losing a lot of games early on is because of at the end in clutch time. At the end when it matters, other teams would go on runs because of turnovers, because there's no point guard on the floor. We were looking at lineups where we had Amen Thompson, Tari Eason, Kevin Durant, Sengun, and Steven Adams. Nobody on that court is really handling the ball. Reed Shepherd, he can get it going. He's a scorer, but he can't really handle pressure that well. And he can't play defense, honestly. So he can't be your starting point guard. So this is a team this year, 8th in defensive rating. Last year, they were 4th in defensive rating. Not really a drop-off. Mind you, the season's not over yet. They're still playing defense. Kevin Durant is playing defense. When you look at Kevin Durant and look at people scoring on him, people are shooting terribly when Kevin Durant's guarding him. That's something that's been underrated by his game his whole entire career. Mind you, it's not that hard to play defense when you're 7 foot and you can move. It's just about if you want to play defense at that point. He's 7 foot. He's pretty quick. He can move his feet. It's about you wanting to play defense. So he brought that into a team that already values defense. So I'm not worried about that at all. The Rockets, for the rest of the year, were 22nd in remaining strength of schedule. 22nd. Teams like Oklahoma, teams like Denver, other teams in the West that might be above the Rockets right now or right behind the Rockets, they are ahead of the Rockets when it comes to remaining strength of schedule. That means that their schedule going forward is harder than the Houston Rockets' schedule going forward. And this is when the games mean the most. This is when they matter the most because we're getting about that time. We're coming up on All-Star break. After All-Star break, you got to get it going. And I'm not worried at all. The Rockets are starting to settle down. They're starting to settle in. Kevin Durant is starting to settle in. He's getting more comfortable with this team. This team's getting more comfortable with Kevin Durant. It's not that easy to come into a season playing with a guy of Kevin Durant status, going from coming to a season playing with a guy of Jalen Green status. It's a lot different. It's a completely different ball game. And you can see that in the beginning of the season because so many times at the end of the game, the last couple possessions of the game, especially the very last possession, Kevin Durant did not have the ball in his hands. Alfred Sengun would try to make something happen. And that's not your job. That is not your job when Kevin Durant's on the floor. And he's starting to understand that at the end of the game, let's get the ball to Kevin Durant. He's our closeout man. He's our guy that's going to close him out. Mind you, tonight, Kevin Durant had 31, 5, and 4. Just a little side note. So I'm not worried at all. If Fred VanVleet can come back, control the game, control the floor, be a point guard, contribute to shooting, because shooting is still a weakness for the Rockets in some games. We know he can shoot, not turn the ball over. He plays a little bit of defense whenever he's on the right matchup. I'm not worried at all. I think that this is a Houston team that if they get favorable matchups in the playoffs, like I said, the only team I don't see them being able to beat is the Thunder and Denver. If they can avoid those teams until the conference finals, they can make it to the conference finals, which is why I said they will be this year. So I'm not worried at all. These young players, they have to grow and they have to be ready come playoff time. That's what this last stretch of the season is going to be. Ime Udoka getting these players ready because Kevin Durant's going to be ready. One thing I'll tell you about it, you talk about how Kevin Durant's made every team worse. He averages the same numbers every year. Every year he's at 26 points per game, shooting 50% from the field, 40% from the three-point line. He's on a trajectory to be a 50, 40, 90 guy once again. He's already done it like twice in his career. Kevin Durant's play doesn't change. It doesn't at all. If he has the right team around him, he can be successful.
Whoa.
No. What are you about to say? What are you about to say? It doesn't take a Golden State for Kevin Durant to win a championship. That was the easiest.
He hasn't even been to the conference finals.
Listen. What team that's won hasn't had a good roster? What team has won with just one superstar?
There's no team
has won with just two superstars and not good role players. What team has won like that? Answer my question.
There's no team that had that many superstars on the same team. That's arguably the greatest.
That's not what I'm asking you. Yes, like I said, that was the easiest situation for him to get a ring. But what team in history? No. What team in history doesn't have two stars and good role players? What NBA Finals team in history? Only one I'll give you is maybe Dirk. That's the only team I will give you. Every other team has two superstars and a roster that is loaded. Look at this past Thunder team. They had Shea, the MVP, Jalen Williams, who dropped 40 in the finals game,
no
and a good roster. When you look at the Denver Nuggets, you had Nikola Jokic, a walking triple-double, and Jamal Murray. And then they had guys like Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., Bruce Brown. You had guys like that who were important. Look at all of Kevin Durant's teams. The only team that Kevin Durant was about to take to the finals was that Brooklyn Nets team, who Kyrie Irving gets hurt. It's James Harden back, who isn't even himself because he has a hurt hamstring. Other than that, who was on that team? You had Joe Harris. You had Nick Clark. No. Kevin Durant has never been in a situation where he was the main guy and his whole entire roster was still good enough for him to succeed. Kevin Durant has never been go out there and average 30 points the whole season. That's not what he does. He did that early in OKC, but ever since he tore his Achilles, that's not what he's been. He's been an efficient, high 20 scorer. That's still what he is today. He needs the roster around him to be beneficial, just like every other superstar in this league. That Suns team would never have worked because all you had was him, Devin Booker. They had no point guard, they had no defense, and they had no big man. You cannot win like that in this NBA. So I don't want to hear that Kevin Durant's the problem, that he's the problem. He's the plague everywhere he goes. No, he's not. When you put him in a good situation, like he is now, for example, the Rockets are in the playoffs. They're in the playoffs, and they're getting better as the season's going on.
That's not good enough.
How is that not? What do you mean that's not good enough?
Being in the playoffs is not good enough.
Give it 2 years. I told you. I think that next year he will go to the finals. I told you. I told y'all that. And I think that. And I think that this year he can get to the Western Conference Finals. But I'm tired of this narrative that Kevin Durant can't win unless he's just on the Warriors-type team. No team can win.
The evidence we have.
No team can win unless their roster is right. And his roster has not been right since Brooklyn, but in Brooklyn, he had to deal with injuries. Yes, like I said, Golden State, yes, that was a cop-out. That was just, unfair. But OKC, that was his other chance, and they broke up. James Harden left. Him and Russ, he left Russ, that's okay. But as of today, you cannot look me in my face and say Kevin Durant is the problem when Kevin Durant is going to be Kevin Durant at the end of the day. If his teammates and his coach are ready to go with him, he will take you where he needs to go. If Ime Udoka and these young guys can be ready come playoff time, I don't see why this team could sneak to a finals. I don't see why they couldn't. They probably won't. I think they'll get to the Western Conference Finals. But if Ime Udoka and this team of young superstars are ready, sky's the limit for this team. So I want y'all to stop talking down on Kevin Durant. The Rockets are legit contenders this year, and that's what that is.
Okay. The Rockets are not legit contenders. And the reason why they're not legit contenders is because I believe the West is a two-team race. Everybody outside those two teams, you don't have a chance. That's how I honestly feel about the West this year. And this year, against those two teams I'm talking about, your team is 1-4 versus the Thunder and the Rock. I mean, Thunder and the Nuggets, sorry. It's Thunder and Nuggets. Your team is 1-4. So that goes to prove my point.
That's okay. But like I said, that's early season with a team that's adding Kevin Durant. That's like we had the Rockets. First of all, you played the Thunder opening night. I want to say we played the Thunder twice and the Nuggets twice.
No, 1-4, so 3 times. I think played Nuggets 3 times and the Thunder twice.
We only played the Thunder once.
2.
No, 2. Twice and the Nuggets 3 times.
Oh, 1-4. That's why you said 1-4. My bad. So total of 5. Those were early games. Like I said, you played the Thunder.
Just beat y'all last week. That was a week ago. It was a week ago.
I didn't have Sagoon back, did I?
No, y'all had Sagoon. Fact.
I think Sagoon did play.
Every single.
Listen. Just listen real quick. What I'm trying to say is, we played the Thunder opening night. We played the Nuggets soon after that. We played the Nuggets. Like, these are early games. These are like November type game. We played the Nuggets like twice in November, and then we played the Thunder opening night. That's 3 of the games within the first 2 months of a team that just got Kevin Durant with young guys. Like, that's okay. I'm fine with losing those games then. Now, how many more times do we – I think, like, we have to play the Thunder 2 more times. We probably play the Nuggets maybe 1 more time. Talk to me about those games towards the end of the season. That's what matters to this Rockets team because, like I said in the beginning of the season, you have to give them a full year to get acquainted to having Kevin Durant. This is a new team now because you have Kevin Durant.
Bess, you left out an important one too. I want to say they're like 1-3 against the Spurs too. And on top of that, I like what you said, facts. And I'm gonna let you keep on going. I think it is a 2-team race, but I think the Spurs do have a little bit of edge on the Nuggets, maybe just because they're deep. They are deep like the Thunder were, and that was Denver's problem. But yeah, keep going. Finish.
They are, but I think Denver this year got deeper with the addition that they made with the Tim Hardaway Jr. addition. I love the Cameron Johnson trade. And mind you, Denver playing with a bunch of injuries right now. Jokic out, Aaron Gordon in and out, Christian Brown in and out, Cameron Johnson in and out. They dealing with a bunch of injuries, but I think it's a 2-team race in the West. And the Rockets, unfortunately, with everybody else, I don't think they're a contender. So I'm not really just bashing the Rockets. I'm bashing the rest of the West because I think it's a 2-team race. But the one thing that you said about KD, like Rell said, his teams haven't been to the conference finals. We're not even talking about the finals. Just the conference finals. And the only evidence that I have of him getting to the finals and winning is when he has at least 2 more superstars on the team. In OKC, he had 2 more superstars on the team. They made it to really had a big 4, to be honest with you. They made it to the finals. With the Warriors, he had Draymond, Steph, and Clay. Made it to the finals. Now, you said what teams are successful without 2 superstars and a bunch of role players. I don't think that Miami Heat team, at least I don't think they had 2 superstars when it was Jimmy Butler. I look at that team as Jimmy Butler and friends. That's how I look at it.
It's Jimmy Butler and friends, but if we consider Tyler Hero a role player, Bam Adebayo a role player, they're top role players in the league. Like, if you put them on another team, that team now gets a lot better.
But you said 2 superstars. You said 2 superstars and a bunch of role players. That's what you said.
Yes, but who do they play in the playoffs? Who do they play in the playoffs?
They played
beat Giannis first round.
They beat Giannis first round, yes. The Bucks played terrible that whole entire series, and Giannis got hurt. But okay, they played Giannis.
MVP Giannis, though. MVP
they played Giannis.
Okay.
Who else did they beat?
Did they beat Philly? Or no, beat the Celtics for sure. They beat Philly in the second round? Was it Philly? I could be wrong. It might not have been Philly. Maybe. But I know that next round they definitely beat the Celtics. Your Celtics.
But this is also a team. Man, bump on that. Go look at what their role players were averaging in the playoffs. Gabe Vincent got a contract because of how he played in that playoffs.
And look at Gabe Vincent now.
The same Gabe Vincent that you just sent me a video of the other day that just lost the ball dribbling between his legs. He got a contract with the Lakers because of how he played that playoffs. That's
exactly.
Awesome. Yes, Jimmy Butler played out of his mind. I'm not going to take nothing away from him. But that roster played crazy. That whole entire roster came to play. So, no, I'm not going to say, look at that Miami Heat roster. And like I said, they didn't get the job done at the end of the day.
Okay. Cool. But cool. That's my thing, though. They made it to the finals. I didn't finish. Luka and the Mavericks The year before they got Kyrie, they went to the conference finals against the Warriors. They didn't have enough, so they lost to the Warriors. I've seen cases where guys that were quote unquote alone or didn't have enough help, they at least got to the conference finals, or at least, you know what I'm saying? Like, look at the freaking wait, go ahead, Real.
LeBron in 2017 when Rodney Hood was his second best player.
Got to the
He
finals.
went to the finals.
To the finals, at least.
To the conference finals. To the conference. You got to make it to the conference finals, Jerrick.
That's our point. Like, KD is you're going to say he's the top 10 player of all time, correct?
Yes.
You believe that? Okay. The
Yes,
fact that you haven't
I
made it to
believe
the conference finals since the Warrior days, that's to me a problem. Last year, there's no way you're telling me that last year, yes, was the roster perfect? Heck no. But there's no way you're telling me that him and D-Book missed the playoffs.
They did, because of how terrible their roster was. They both averaged 26 points per game. What more do you want from them? You want them to both average 30? You want them to both average 30? You want them to both average 30? What team has two players ever both average 30? That's all I want to know, Rell. They would have had to make them co-MVPs of the same organization. 2 MVPs would have been given out this year to them.
The great ones find a way to get it done.
Hold up. Wait, what was last year, the 2025 NBA playoffs?
LeBron would have went to the playoffs with that Suns team for sure. With D-Book, for sure.
That's facts. Okay, so you're trying to tell me that the Warriors came out to play in last year, and the Grizzlies came out to play in last year. Who was the other two teams that lost in the play in?
The Kings lost, right? The Kings.
So they couldn't get to the playoffs over the Kings, and who was the other team? One more team.
Was it the Spurs? No, the Spurs was eliminated.
Yeah, it wasn't the Spurs.
I'm trying to think. Let me think. It was the Mavericks. I remember the Anthony Davis. Mavericks.
Okay, boom. So they couldn't make it over the Mavericks or the Kings, and just into the play-in. At least, and the fact that
how many games did they miss the play-in by? What was their record, and what was the play-in team record?
I'm about to tell you right now. Give me 1 second. All right, they missed the game. They missed the play-in by. They was 36 and 46. The next best team that was in the play-in was 39 and 43.
Kevin Durant missed 20 games last year.
That's another thing too. Availability is the best ability.
He missed 20 games. A lot of other stars missed 20 games, but the fact that those 20 games is what missed them the playoffs shows y'all how good Kevin Durant is. But it's okay. Continue. It's okay. Continue.
I didn't have nothing else to say. I said all I had to say. I don't think y'all are contenders because I think this is a 2-team race, and I don't think the Timberwolves are contenders. I don't think the Spurs are. I don't think.
They feeling like
we're about
it's
to talk about the next
seven,
team right
comment
now.
down below, yeah.